This is a crazy, crazy story that is unfolding down in Florida. This college student has been arrested for a joke she made in a private group chat involving Netanyahu.
It's true. It's true. It's happening. Mahmoud Khalil, who was viciously targeted by our government for deportation because he happened to be a green card carrying, Columbia University student who was critical of Israel. Everyone thought, oh, well, he's not an American citizen. We don't have to worry about it because we're American citizens. We're God tier. We don't have to worry about our government coming for us. You'd be mistaken because your assumption is that our government represents us above anyone else, right? Well, that's a mistake if you think that. So let's get to the details of the story. A 23-year-old college student is now facing, and I kid you not, 15 years in prison over a joke that she made in a group chat with her stanky ass classmates. And I mean that with my whole chest. Bunch of narcs, bunch of weirdos who don't understand what a joke is. And now the future of this 23-year-old girl is on the line. So Gabriela Saldana was arrested on April 17th over messages that she sent in this group chat. It was on WhatsApp, owned by Meta. So be smarter than that, okay? Be better. But in this case, it wasn't Meta engineers that ratted her out. It was her own classmates. Now, Saldana wanted more time so basically what they were discussing in this group chat was apparently they were supposed to have some sort of event where the students were expected to conduct presentations, their capstone presentations. Saldana needed a little more time, so she was hoping that the event could be, delayed or postponed. And then she makes a joke. What was the joke? You're about to find out.
She thought it was a joke, but the law didn't agree. And now she's facing 15 years in prison. It happened at Florida International University. A 23-year-old student named Gabriela Saldana was in a WhatsApp group with 215 of her classmates. They were discussing a capstone event scheduled at the university's Ocean Bank Convocation Center. Saldana, by her own account, didn't want to go. So, according to screenshots obtained by local media, she typed in a message, which ended up stirring up the controversy. This is what she said.
Netanyahu, if you can hear me, drop some bonbons for us capstone students in Ocean Bank Convocation Center.
Authorities believe bonbons was a coded reference to bombs. That wasn't all. In a second message, she allegedly wrote, there is going to be a bomb in the Ocean Bank Convocation Center, and it was going to be Jonathan's fault.
Bonbons, really? Bonbons. Like, what did the classmates think? That Netanyahu, well, he might be spying in, but that he was spying in and he's gonna literally listen to her and bomb the facility where they're gonna hold their presentations? Did they think that? Were they serious? Did they really think she was being serious? And it's a serious question because she's gonna have to stand trial over this. By the way, the judge, Major, see you next Tuesday. I hope I'm never in front of her court, but she is. Because everyone knows this is a joke. Everyone knows it's a joke. Well, how do I know that everyone knows it's a joke? Well, because she said so in the group chat. We're gonna get to that in just a second. But the university, FIU, alleged that her joke was a credible threat of violence. To an objective person, Judge Mindy Glazier says, it's not a joke. And it would be enough for probable cause. I'm not saying it's enough for beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the standard of proof when she stands trial for this nonsense. I don't know if the state is going to be able to prove it in trial, but for purposes of this hearing, I believe there is enough for probable cause. You can't convict someone with probable cause though. So why are you making her go through this when it's obvious it's a joke? She says to an objective person, it's not a joke. Where did you get your credentials to be a judge? To an objective person, it's not a joke. No, you can say it's subjective. You can make the argument that like, oh, that comment did scare me. I interpreted it differently. But no, it is not objective. An objective person isn't automatically gonna look at that and say, No, she's being serious. She's calling for an act of violence. Okay. So we all read how she we all read how she treated her. What's interesting is if you go online and you look up this judge's name and the way she's treated serious violent offenders who are before her in a court of law, she treats them way more nicely, a lot more lenient. But when it comes to someone who makes a joke in a group chat, oh, you can't have that. Okay. So according to local news outlets in Florida, she faces a charge of writing threats to kill or do bodily harm. And her bail was set at $5,000. Literally in the chat, she makes it clear that she is joking, that it is a joke. Okay, let's go to the first graphic here. When students allegedly didn't take the messages as something to laugh at, Saldana allegedly said, and it's not alleged, I've seen, the copy of the messages, said that she wrote a dumb joke that should not have been made. So to my fellow Floridians, you guys cool bucking the bill or paying the bill for this like ridiculous case that should be thrown out immediately? Like, do you look at that woman and think like, oh yeah, she's gonna bomb that venue? Or that Netanyahu is somehow gonna hear her calls to bomb that venue? And that guy will bomb anything. So I get it. But the real problem is Netanyahu, right? The trigger happy dude who bombs all his neighbors and invades countries that he shouldn't be invading. But is she a threat? Are they really serious about her being a threat? I don't think so. So here we are. Be careful what you joke about, I guess. Now, if she made a similar joke referencing a different country, would she be in this situation today? I mean, we can't know, but we can speculate. My speculation is no, unlikely that she would be in front of a judge in a court of law over a joke. But guys, this is why maintaining free speech is so important. This is why, for those who were played like fools in like fear mongering about Mahmoud Khalil, the argument by people like us at TYT was, no, there's no due process here. There's no conversation. There's no investigation. There's no indication that he himself has materially supported or defended terrorism of any kind. He just wants, Palestinians to stop getting slaughtered with our money. And he was thrown in prison for that. Green card holder, thrown in prison for that, missed the birth of his first child. And some Americans thought, who cares, no skin off my back. He's not an American citizen. My government would never do that to me. Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would. That's why it's important to fight for free speech, regardless of how much you love or hate that speech, because it's important to protect that freedom. We should be able to express ourselves, or else we're going to look a lot more like the UK. Have you seen what's going down in the UK? They'd be rounding up elderly people and throwing them in prison because they dare protest Israel. I don't want to live in a society like that. Have you seen what's going down in Australia? Real heavy-handed law enforcement when it comes to commentary that's not favorable toward Israel. Israel is not synonymous with Jews. As much as Israel would like to conflate the two, don't conflate the two. Israel is a genocidal terroristic nation state. Even some Israelis within that society disagree with it. I wish more of them did. But when you look at American Jews, for instance, majority of them do not agree with the war in Iran. Are they anti-Semites because they don't agree with what Israel wants? I mean, these questions should be answered. So as much as they want to make people anti-Semites for being critical of Israel or citing Israel's brutality while making a joke, the fact of the matter is that country, not interchangeable with Jews. Just not, sorry. And that, by the way, that goes for people who keep conflating the two because of their anti-Semitism as well. Don't do that.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.